Welcome to another episode of Sippin Sports. We have Andrew Dahir here from Elite Tournaments. It's been 2 out of 3 tournaments, and so we're taking a nice break in the middle of everything. So gratefully he was able to jump out here for a sec. I know a lot of people have kind of followed and gone to know Utah Valley because of Elite Tournaments coming out to the area and kind of taking over in the fall season out here, which is great. There's tons of business that comes in. So for those that don't know and are listening, both the local community that listens to this podcast as well as just other clients, DMOs, everything, why don't you tell us what Elite Tournaments is?
Yeah.
And who you are, essentially.
Yeah, so, as Abby mentioned, I'm Andrew. I am our Vice President of Soccer for Elite Tournaments. So I oversee all of the business on our soccer side, from our league clients to operations from our tournament directors, and then working closely with the rest of our company to develop business to bring events across the country, wherever that may be, and find myself in Provo, Utah, in the Utah Valley, which I probably would have never said growing up. Getting here, even into the role about 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago. So Elite Tournaments, event management company at its heart. So we do everything, mainly soccer and lacrosse, but we've helped run professional matches here in the States. We take teams or kids overseas to Europe to train with clubs over there, and week-long experiences with their parents over there. And then, between myself and Caitlin Schmeltz, who works on our lacrosse side, we oversee all of our league clients. So we work with the IWLCA on the lacrosse side, so a major organization there, and then partner, with 3 leagues that are coming out here or have come out here, between the Girls Academy League, which is the newest event we're bringing out next week. So there's the Girls Academy League. They also have the Aspire, which is their second tier, which is what we are hosting next week. So our third and final one out here. But then we also partner with the Elite Academy League, which is a boys league, and the Development Player League, which is a girls league. So 1, 2, 3, numerous leagues. But our bread and butter at the end of it is the youth soccer club in tournaments, that you host locally. So being based in the Baltimore, Maryland area, we do a lot of stuff in the Baltimore, D.C. metropolitan, but up and down the East Coast mainly. So we have just around 20 employees. So we like to call ourselves a small business, but we're really a family that travels around and hosts events wherever we need.
Wherever you need. No, and that's honestly a perfect segue into the next question, because what is it that you typically look for? I know obviously I've worked with Ellie Marks, who used to be with the organization, as well as you for a time, and hearing, in the initial beginning stages of our relationship partnership with you guys coming out here, what are the elements that you look for? What stands out to you as far as a destination, the facilities go, all of that kind of stuff? Yeah,
so I think first and foremost, and I hope any event owner would say the same, is probably the facilities, right? And where you're going to be playing those matches or games. And, being the first major event, I would say, right, at Epic Sports Park. And just seeing the quality that was there, the willingness to talk about what needs to be done or what the facility, should have, and what event owners expect, facilities to have. And then working with CVBs obviously is secondary, but also, the most important piece, outside of the facility is having that support, because, Baltimore, Maryland to here is probably 1,500 miles or close to that. So we have no idea what this area is like until we get here, right? Exactly. So, taking advantage of the local, people and culture and the explanations, of what goes on in those areas are key to what we can then provide to our clients, or the recommendations, that we go back with. It's a working relationship, and, having the support, from you guys and you specifically, Abby, is key to making the event successful overall. So we have to rely on the people that are here and live here and run, do everything in their daily lives in the cities here to help us run the events and make the events, as successful as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's great. And kind of summarizing what we've already discussed so far, you brought up the fact that, if you would ask you 4 years ago if you would ever come to Provo, Utah, the question probably not, because you didn't know what was out here, didn't know like what the community was, what the facilities there were here, and you also, have spoken very highly of the Epic Sports Park, of its quality, of the people that work there, like who we've all worked with. Since starting those initial conversations to now, what has stood out to you that, Utah Valley has done, the Epic Sports Park, Provo City? What are the things that, you're continuing that relationship and partnership here?
Yeah, so I think this partnership has been unique in the fact of, we were one of the first events, if not the very first event to happen.
You were the first. Yeah.
on a facility. So, having those conversations from the beginning of, what do you guys expect, in the simple fact of, not only did you come out, facility staff came out to another one of our events to check it out, just first showed, your interest and your commitment to us and those events. And I think that trickles down to our clients, and they see that as well. So they're more inclined to value those relationships and understand, the reason behind us, recommending a certain place, which is huge. And I would say, throughout the year that it's been, and us bringing back even another event or wanting to bring back another event and even more events, right? So there's been plenty of questions of, do you have open dates anywhere else? Because we know we have that support. And I think, not only, having the historical data of what you guys have done for us in the past and or for the event specifically, but also just the simple fact of staying in touch, whether that's personal or professional, right? I talk with Cole once a month, it seems like, whether it's for, hey, do you think we should do this? Or, just a simple question. And, other event owners may not get those questions, but they, but it shows, right? You see that when you get on site. And I would just say, the fact that facility staff remember all of our staff when we show up on site, you don't get that. Or the fact that there hasn't been any turnover, is always positive. And I know I mentioned that as well, like with our workers, even the local market, and the fact that you guys are willing to continue to push out, our marketing and our efforts that we need to host the event. We rely on the local community to come out and help us out with that. So the community involvement, is a big aspect that I think can get lost in the shuffle a little bit, right? We spend a lot of time at the facility, and that's where that's where we think about, because that's where the event's at and that's what's happening. But you guys have continued to go above and beyond by supporting us outside of that.
Sweet.
And we were even at dinner the other night, and someone, oh, you guys are the ones, right? I see the ET, like I heard about you guys, and are you guys with the soccer tournament? And, just
everybody
simple things
knows.
like that. Oh, we were so busy last weekend and this weekend, and, hey, guess what? You're going to keep being busy next weekend.
You're welcome.
So, but after that, you'll get a little break. Don't worry. But so I think just the simple fact of, keeping those relationships going over time, and the continued support and willingness to go above and beyond, whether it's personal or professional, because of those things, is a main reason why we continue to reach out and see if we can host more events with you all.
And I think kind of being new-ish to this industry, I feel like I can't really say that anymore, because I've been in the industry now for 1.5 years, almost 2 years. But that was kind of my biggest takeaway from, meeting events rights holders, people that manage these events. Like, I wanted them to become friends. Like, I wanted them to feel like they could talk to me about anything, both with the facility, and be open and honest with feedback, which honestly, like you said, it was a very unique situation for us with the Epic, where it was a brand new facility, and quite frankly, a lot of us weren't sure what was the best way to approach it. Right. So it kind of goes hand in hand with you guys. We were so grateful for your openness and, directness ultimately to say, like, we need this, and then ultimately, because of the state that we were in, we said, cool, let's do it, and moved forward with that. And I think with that unique situation, it just set us up for success with not only you guys, which you guys, because you were the first event at the Epic, loyal partnership for as long as you guys want to be here, like you're here to stay. And you guys, obviously, as you experience just with our local restaurants and partners, like, they know what business you guys bring in. They know that you guys are some of the best in the industry, and like, we never want to lose that. And because of that, that's, like you said, where that relationship shines, and we want that to thrive and continue to grow, whatever. Like, I want to be able to pick you up from the hotel and be able to talk about our families and not for it to be weird and silent and whatever. And that should be what all relationships and partnerships strive for, to have that openness, to be able to succeed both professionally and personally moving down the road. Because obviously, like, Ellie Marks was the first person that I connected with Elite, and she's moved to a different organization now, but that relationship is still there. So even if things change, like, we want to provide that experience for every single event, not just Elite, even though you guys are great.
Fair. That's understandable. I think that's what our industry is all about at the end of the day, right? We go to all these conventions and these networking events, and we get connected, in meetings and outside of meetings and social environments, and continuing those relationships, and like you said, from a personal side, but even from a professional side, the fact that you guys are out there going out and helping us whenever we need. And you don't see that from most CVBs, so it's very clear your intent is, making that relationship and maintaining that, and then, but you're also willing to put in the work to keep that outside of just the personal side, which is most important, and not something you see from other CVBs every time.
Was I expecting this last Friday? So backstory, we were supposed to go to the BYU football game as like an outing to de-stress from back-to-back tournaments, and a lovely, wonderful rainstorm decided to fly in 30 minutes, hardcore winds and rain. I showed up to pick up Andrew and his team to go to the game, and quickly said, cool, I'm dropping all my stuff. Let's go run out in soaking rain and winds and pull down flags and stuff. But that's what we're all about. Like, everybody is part of the team at that point. Cole, me, everybody that was on site, like, we're all hands on deck to be able to support. And I love that is the community that we have out here. So thank you so much for hopping onto this podcast. Last question that I didn't give you a heads up on.
Oh, gosh.
What has been your favorite thing that you've experienced in Utah Valley? Favorite place to go to, thing to do, thing that stands out the most?
That's interesting. Well, I think the two things that just stand out right away to me are now there's snow on the mountains, which I didn't expect. So
not on the ground down
not
here.
On the ground,
not on the ground. Only
just
on the
mountaintop. So the scenic views are always incredible. The first thing was the trip up to Sundance. And I think just the views of driving up that, being in the Midwest, it's extremely flat. So, whenever we see
maybe a hill
mountain,
every now and there.
Great. Or we have to drive 8 hours to get to the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. So I appreciate that. But just being able to see that in the history around, that area and what's gone on there. And then secondly, just because of its most recent, is the BYU football game, I think. And just all of the intricacies, let's say, of that game and what goes on and in the stadium, and it's really cool to see that environment and see that come to life. I'm a big college football fan and follow on TV, and always see the stadium and the mountains in the background, but being able to experience it firsthand was great.
So, this guy no longer has never had a cougar tail. He finally had a cougar tail. So if you don't know what a cougar tail is, you will be shocked to discover it, and we can grab you one at some point. So thank you again, Andrew, for coming out. We'll get you back to the Epic here in a sec.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you.